any other time in modern political history, Judge Gorsuch's nomination would not be controversial. He would sail through. He's well credentialed. He's replacing a justice that voted voted very much the way Gorsuch would likely vote. He was approved by the Senate on voice vote before when he went to the Court of Appeals, which is to say there wasn't a whole lot of controversy. But this isn't the normal period. Neil Gorsuch is a well-credentialed conservative judge who currently sits on the 10th Circuit Court of Appeals in Denver. He's what's called an originalist, which means that he thinks we can interpret the Constitution based on what the original meaning was at the time that the Constitution was written. There are really three things about him and his nomination that make what he would bring to the court fairly unusual. First of all, he's from the Mountain West, and so this will bring a perspective potentially to the court that would have him looking differently at maybe things like land use and the like. Second of all, he's a fairly conciliatory personality. He's described as being a nice guy. It's not the same personality that we're used to with Justice Scalia, who was kind of in people's faces. So I think with Gorsuch, what we might see is a justice who's looking to expand his influence and not simply to put his foot down. The third thing that's somewhat unusual about him is he has a fairly radical interpretation of what's called the Chevron doctrine. The Chevron doctrine is an area of law that says that the court should generally defer to the decisions of administrative agencies unless they're really far off from what Congress intended. I think the ones that we are most likely to see come up right now will be ones having to do with immigration, because they are very much on the forefront of the lower courts as they're making their decisions. And I think the ones that we are most likely to see come up will be the ones in which religion are intertwined with national security. This is a judge who has spent a lot of energy writing about the free exercise of religion. It'll be very curious to see whether those attitudes make their way into court decisions.